Okay, welcome men. Thank you so much for joining this call, and we're talking about premature ejaculation today. And as you know, I'm a sexuality coach here in Cape Town. I see men and women as well as couples, and I also do online workshops, online courses and calls with people. So we're going to talk about premature ejaculation. First of all, what it is. Then we're going to speak about how it manifests for men, for women, and for couples. And then we're going to talk about the causes for men, for women, and for couples. And then we're going to speak about what we can do to change it. And again, men, women, and couples, because it all works together. And just in the end, you know, the kind of benefits you will feel when that rhythm changes. And then at the end, we're going to have an opportunity for questions and answers. And specifically for the questions and answers, I have a special guest on the call tonight, and that is Mr. Lenerd Louw. Lenerd, if you just, so Lenerd, if you just want to say hi so we can see who you are, there we go.
Hi, Leanne, and yeah, it's wonderful to be here. Thanks for arranging the call and doing it.
Yeah. So, thanks, Lenerd. Oh, and thanks for joining. So I asked Lenerd to join because he lives in a man's body, and he is a sexuality coach. He's also the author of the book Jump, but he coaches men and specifically around ejaculation choice. So he has a lot of experience and practical knowledge. We can always ask him, like, if I don't know because of my feminine body, there's always Lenerd to support with some practical years of experience, really. Okay, thanks, Lenerd.
Pleasure.
Okay, guys. So let's start by saying, okay, what is premature ejaculation? Now, apparently, according to the medical thing, it's like 2 minutes or within 30 seconds, a guy ejaculates. It qualifies it as premature ejaculation. I think premature ejaculation is basically if you ejaculate when you don't want to. So that you can't choose when to ejaculate, but it just happens. It overcomes you, that you can't time it. That I see as premature ejaculation. And I almost think that most of the population has some degree of premature ejaculation, because in general, people make love for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, which is fairly short, but which has become almost normal in today's society. So basically, I think the measure for premature ejaculation is just, can you ejaculate when you choose to or not? And do you want to have control over this fantastic function that your body has? Okay. So now, how does it manifest for men? And I see this with my clients a lot. Most of my male clients struggle with premature ejaculation. And it's just, again, this thing of ejaculating before you want to and not having that control. So you feel out of control. So many men have said to me, to have a penis is sometimes like being chained to a madman. Like, okay. It just does its own thing. So if it's like doing its own thing and you don't have control over it, you know, it's somehow worrying, because you want to be a good lover and you want to enjoy your sex. And then over a period of time, as people get older, so older men then say to me, that ejaculation eventually loses its potency. So the ejaculation over a period of time or as you get older is not as satisfying, or even you ejaculate less, or you just don't feel that same like orgasm that you used to know as a young person, which becomes worrying. Like, what am I going to do about this? You know, I'm losing this most fantastic function that I have with my penis, and how can I get it back? And then they also feel that they're not quite satisfying their sexual partner, because the sexual partner might not come as quickly as they do. One doesn't come as quickly as this guy, as you are ejaculating. So you're out of sync with your partner, which becomes a problem. And nowadays, more and more men are so focused on satisfying their partner, which is a beautiful awareness and a beautiful care that's coming in. And just because they want to care more for their partner, they feel they want to be able to first satisfy their partner before they just come in and the whole sex thing is over. And the way it manifests for women, so it does have an impact on women, and they don't always realize that the cause, the root cause, is actually premature ejaculation. Because a lot of women say when they make love to their male partners, they struggle to orgasm, or the woman starts feeling inadequate because she's not having an orgasm. Or why didn't I orgasm? Or I didn't orgasm quick enough. And she's starting to try all kinds of things to keep up. And it, in a way, it is true. You can never give your partner an orgasm. Like if you're making love to a woman, you can't really give her an orgasm. She has to orgasm herself. So this woman's starting to find ways to orgasm faster and faster to keep up with you. And what's happening is the women are starting to employ a lot of clitoral stimulation to also have that quick orgasm. So women are starting to get fixated on that clitoral orgasm, starting to rely on it for their orgasm so that they can try and keep in sync with their partner. Yeah, and then a lot of women, most women, don't have multiple orgasms purely because they're not being made love to for long enough. So now I'm really speaking from a woman's perspective, because they're not being made love to long enough to go into orgasmic state and to have more orgasms. And then, I mean, this woman starts feeling like, why am I this one woman that can never have multiple orgasms? Meanwhile, she's not being made love to long enough. Or most women have never had a vaginal orgasm. And those take time. They take time. It's a deep connection that the woman needs to have in her body, and you as her lover need to be present with her for a very long time. And then with couples, so it's sort of, when I speak about the woman, we're starting to merge into the way I see it manifesting with couples. So I often have couples come to see me, and they're in a very loving relationship, and the man is now very worried about the woman because she's not orgasming anymore. Or she has lost interest in sex. She's not in the mood anymore. And I see that as that there is a root cause there of actually premature ejaculation, that these people are just not making love long enough for that mutual satisfaction to come in. So again, you know, you start thinking there's something wrong with the one with one person, but you're just not making love long enough, and couples are starting to feel like a disconnect with each other, or an irritation with each other. And And what happens with the couple sex, if it's always just, so this all sounds terrible. It all sounds very negative. So we have to just say like how it manifests. So we just have to say these like super sad, negative things. Like these couples over the years and years and years, they make love. There's always premature ejaculation. The woman very seldom orgasms. She sort of puts up with it for a long time, and because she loves the guy, but eventually she's like, has got a deep resentment because she's never, ever, ever feeling that connection with herself, that absolute satisfaction. The guy might get the satisfaction from the ejaculation, but she's left to have to go and please herself in the shower afterwards. So it's just over a long term, it can cause a lot of damage into couples relating. And I have also felt that in my life, where you are stuck in this pattern, and eventually the woman just feels as this, you feel like this like dumping ground for the semen, but what's the point? So this all sounds very sad and negative, and it is actually a big problem that we would like to address and that we can address, and to realize that premature ejaculation is not just a condition and that's just how it is, but we can really change it, and we can change it as a man, you can change it as a woman, you can help the man to change it, and as a couple you can change these patterns. So we want to look at those things as well. Okay, so next I'm going to move on to what the causes are, why this is happening to people. So let's just sort of just identify why it is happening to us. Why did we land in this position? But before I move on to the causes, I just want to check in with Lenerd, with his male body. With Lenerd, is there anything that in your experience with what you've seen with your clients, in the manifesting of premature ejaculation in the bodies of men? Is there anything that you want to add there?
Yeah, maybe just to expand what you've said, and I mean, maybe belaboring the point, but I think it's quite important to talk about it. And yeah, so there are a number of research and surveys out over the last few years that asked, how long after penetration on average to the guy ejaculate, or how long does the lovemaking last? And and it's almost consistently around about an average of 5 minutes. And obviously it's shorter and it's longer, but the average is around about 5 minutes of lovemaking. And I think the reality of that is just that a guy's body is ready after 30 seconds, 60 seconds, you have an erection and you're ready to make love. And the woman's body is so much different. It takes 10, 20 minutes, half an hour sometimes, just to warm up her to get to her orgasmic ability. So clearly the 5 minutes is not going to create that energy and that blissful state in the body. So that's where the mismatch is. And I think there's almost, we're laboring the point, but there's almost, as if this is skimmed over in the world out there. No one really talks about it. So I almost want to, just to mention that there's a clear disconnect there. For 5 minutes on average, woman is not going to get there. And that is from the woman's perspective. But then also remember, from a guy's perspective, to make love for 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes as compared to maybe for 20 minutes or longer, it's a game changer. It changes everything, not just in the physical experience, but also in the connection and the emotion and the heart space between the partners. It really expands everything. It makes almost everything in life so much easier. You're less worried about the dishes and the toothpaste lit and all of that, if you have this beautiful lovemaking for a long extended period, it almost spills over into the rest of your life, of like just so much more empathy and softness with each other.
Yeah, thanks, Lenerd. Yeah, well, we're all working towards like better lovemaking, having more orgasms, healing this world one orgasm at a time, and we want lots of those. Yeah, thanks, Lenerd. Okay, so now let's look at the causes of premature ejaculation. So there's very much a societal conditioning just around ejaculation, and maybe just from the past, you know, when there was suppression and shyness around sex, where sex was just seen as something that's procreation and you need to deliver your seed and make a baby, end of story. So your sex was really seen as that you are this procreation machine and that you just need to deliver sperm and not indulge in too much pleasure. So that could be like an ancient thing that has also come through generations that we're starting to break, obviously, with more pleasure as we becoming more aware of pleasure now in the way we engage with each other now. But we're still sitting with some of that residue. And then also what we see in society and specifically in porn, and I don't say it is wrong to watch porn, but it's maybe just the way that sex is portrayed in porn. I mean, it's love. It's fantastic to watch other people make love. It's great. I think it's a normal tendency to want to see that. It's hot and it's wonderful. And it's, yeah, gets you excited and everything. But the example in the porn is very much focused towards that prize of the ejaculation. You know, there always has to be this ejaculation. And the other day I went onto Pornhub, and what I really noticed was with some of the clips that I watched, there was like a timer in the background that went tuck, 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 tuck. Almost like encouraging the guys to go faster, 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 faster until they ejaculate. And it looks to me like these porn things. It's like for a short attention span, how quickly can you come? How quickly is this thing going to make you come? It's going to be so hot. It's going to make you come so quickly. So the focus around successful sex is really portrayed as like, how quickly can this thing make you come? So and that's really, yeah, that's just a societal weird conditioning that this ejaculation is needed and needs to be driven out of this man come hell or high water, you know. And even with women, that we feel that we are also conditioned by this societal way of looking at sex, that the guy is only enjoying sex with you when he ejaculates, or ooh, it was so hot, he ejaculated so quickly, which can sometimes be like a cool thing. And it's fun, you know, if you're having a quickie and, oh, it was so hot, you just ejaculate so quickly. But if that becomes a pattern and you get stuck in it, then you've got a problem. So if you can understand that sometimes it's going to be so hot and we're going to ejaculate quickly, and other times we do want that deeper connection before we ejaculate. And then with men, it's just also the masturbation patterns, like even when you're young, you know, there could be like you have to just masturbate quickly and come before anybody comes in the room, or you're in the shower and you just want that release, so you ejaculate quickly, and you almost can because you enjoy the ejaculation so much, that orgasm. And I mean, I am in huge reverence of orgasms. I mean, my whole work and life purpose is about orgasms and having more orgasms. So orgasms are great and you want them, but it's if you train your body, if you pull your body into this rhythm of just ejaculating so quickly because you want that release, then the body goes into an automatic response when you're making love. And it goes into those same patterns. So the masturbation patterns will follow through into the lovemaking, obviously. Like that's your practice session when you masturbate, and then that's going to happen. Let me just look at my notes. And then, yeah, so with women, again, we also conditioned to think that the guy needs to ejaculate. That was a successful session. And if he doesn't ejaculate, we think we were not good enough. He didn't enjoy us or something. So we always see sex as this thing going, ejaculate, and then that's the end. And yeah, and everybody just gets into these patterns where we make love, we get to a climax, we have an orgasm and ejaculation, hopefully both partners do, and then we think sex is over. But it really does not have to be like that. It's just a conditioning of this short thing that goes zoop, explode, and then it's over. And usually also when the man has ejaculated, he's tired. You know, you get tired after ejaculating. And then the woman complain and say, oh, the guy just rolls over and falls asleep. But your body is exhausted. You've given a lot. There's a lot of you going out at that moment. And yeah, and a woman will feel validated when she's received an ejaculation. And another thing is our bodies, we do love the semen. We do love the ejaculation in our bodies. It softens the cervix. There's something that happens in our bodies and in our psyche with that ejaculation. There's like a deep relaxation that comes into us. When a woman is pregnant and she's gone over her time to give birth, and she needs to give birth, and the baby is not coming, the midwife will often suggest to the woman to make love to her husband and ask him to ejaculate in her, because that semen softens the cervix. It softens the cervix and it opens the cervix. So we do love the ejaculation. Okay. So it can also happen that a woman is sort of pulling it out of you. The first time I made love to a guy that does ejaculation control, I just pulled the ejaculation out of him because I didn't know that the rhythm could be different. And then I just pulled another ejaculation out of him again. And I thought, wow, it was such a good lovemaking session. And he had to then very gently explain to me, like, okay, no, wait. We're going to do this differently. We're going to make love for a much longer time. I don't want to ejaculate so quickly. Like, hang on. I'm going to show you that we are going to have an orgasm together. We're going to pause a bit. We're going to make love again. We're going to have an orgasm again. We're going to pause a bit. We're going to have an orgasm again. And then I started going into a multi-orgasmic state, having vaginal orgasms, all those things, which is fantastic. Feeling a deep connection with my lover. Yeah, but it's just a rhythm that we are going to change, and also to look at and to realize that for a man, you can still have an orgasm without ejaculating. But that is going to take quite a bit of practice. It's going to take a whole thing of shifting and understanding how your energy moves in your body. And then you're basically going to learn how to have energy orgasms so that you can have energy orgasms with the woman every time she orgasms, but not ejaculate at that moment. Yeah, so now I'm talking about serious ejaculation control. But ultimately, that's what we're working towards. So let's just go back a little bit and say, okay, say for instance, you are in a space where you are struggling with premature ejaculation, and you now want to start changing it. You want to take charge of it, and you want to do some exercises, you want to do something, and you're going to change this rhythm. Now, in my practice, I work with one-on-one clients, and when I work with a man, it's like very hands-on, where I can show him exactly what to do, exactly how to breathe, exactly where to pinch, where to find that edge. But I'm going to talk you through some things that you can do. All right. So let's start with, I always think it's a good idea to start with yourself and start with the way you masturbate. Okay. So you're going to practice on your own. Us women, when we're working on our orgasmic ability, we also do all these online courses and trainings and stuff, and we learn how to make love to ourselves. We learn how to connect with our bodies. We learn how to understand how our energy moves through our bodies, how we can breathe, how we can feel more, how we can feel more in our genitals. So it's exactly the same for the men. In your whole sexual empowerment process, a big part, one of the biggest parts, is the way that you are going to interact with yourself. Okay, so self-practice. I like to start with the idea of connecting with the energy of your ejaculation. So we're just going to bring a lot of awareness, consciousness into exactly what is happening here, so that we can take charge of all the elements of love making to ourselves and to our partners, all the elements that are at play. So let's start with the energy of the ejaculation. How do you feel about the ejaculation? How does it feel that moment you orgasm and that ejaculate shoots out the tip of your penis? Feels fucking fantastic. So just sort of connect to that energy shooting out your body from the tip of your penis, and that crazy surrender where you actually let go and lose control. It feels fantastic. Okay. Now, it's that moment when you lose control that you want to become aware of. That moment of this energetic shoot out of your body. When you release this out your body. that you become aware that there's a hell of a lot of energy shooting out of your body. So to recognize that this ejaculation is an energy coming out of your body, it's got force behind it. It's got your whole passion, your sexuality. It's the pinnacle of your fucking sexuality, your drive, your yumminess, your feeling fantastic. And that actually comes out of your whole being. So it's almost as though the energy from your whole being is moving down into your penis, being enjoyed there with the touch, with the stimulation, and then shoots out of you. Okay? Now we're going to go back a little bit. So we've got the energy of this energy flowing out of your body and shooting out of your body. So let's go back a little bit now into your penis. Of the moment you touching your penis, stimulating your penis. Now, you might have fallen into a pattern that you know, oh, I stimulate like this, really hot, feels fucking good, and I ejaculate. You've got your hot spots. Okay. Know your hot spots. Know them. Just identify them. These are my hot spots. So it's almost, you know, that hot spot is already a place where you have a choice to go to. So that's part of your control of that energy, is knowing where your hot spots are. Okay. Now with your masturbation, stay away from the hot spots for a bit. The go-to places. And just slow down and touch yourself in a different way. Start employing different strokes. Be creative. Actually, get yourself some oil. I think get away from this high friction, like maybe when you're in water in the shower or on your own somewhere where you quickly have to masturbate. Get away from that. Get some lubrication. Say, okay, I'm going to take time to just feel exactly what my penis is doing. And do different strokes. Stimulate with different strokes going around. You can do beautiful twists. You can do little taps. You can touch on different parts. And notice that with these different strokes, you can press, release, all kinds of wonderful things, sliding on the sides, the top, the bottom. Notice that you can experience incredible amounts of pleasure there without just crashing over. So you're extending your pleasure state and just taking it slower. And then stimulate yourself, and now start measuring how far am I from ejaculating. So everything that I'm talking about is you're bringing awareness into your body. You're bringing awareness into exactly what's happening with your body. And already you have more control over your body just by that awareness. Okay. Now, feel where's that edge. When you get closer to that edge, it almost wants to grab you and pull you over. So before you get to that place where you want to feel like you're being grabbed and pulled over, stay well away from it. Stay well away from it in the beginning. Stimulate. And then before you get to that dangerous place where you're going to be dragged over, practice this. This is a technical thing you're going to do. There's an area between your balls and your anus, your perineum. There's a muscle there. It's the PC muscle. In cyclists, that's really well developed because that's where you sit on the seat of the bicycle and it's holding you up. So before you get, so stimulate yourself before you get to that edge. Contract that muscles, but contract the muscle. Don't press in there with your hand. You can sort of feel with your hand just to notice where it is. But in that moment, you contract the muscle. So it's not like a jamming in with your hand. It's your own body just going, contract that muscle and breathe. And then feel like you're sucking your energy from your penis and your balls up through the bottom of your spine, all the way up your spine and into the top of your head. And you've got to visualize that. Use your wild imagination and just see if you can feel that reverse of energy. And I promise you, where your attention goes, the energy flows. I almost wanted to say the fucking energy flows. I promise you, where your attention goes, the energy flows. And the breath really helps with that. So while you're stimulating, have slow, easy breaths. Slow, easy breaths. So you're not chasing, you go slow, easy breaths. The breathing will help you to slow down your rhythm. When you get to a heightened, excited part of space, practice contracting the PC muscle, visualize, and do this with your breath. With a deep, loud, audible breath going, and suck it into the top of your head and feel this energy going in your head. You can feel like it'll energize your head. You can also practice with sucking that energy into your heart and just feel that it actually goes into your heart. So I'm still talking about energy. We started with the energy of the ejaculation, then the energy of the penis, then the energy of the excitement, and then breathing that energy up into your body. So you are in control of your energy, the way you spend your fantastic, manly, sexual energy. You know where it's going. So if you visualize it like a flow of energy that's flowing out of your body or into your body, that'll really help you, almost like light, a ball of light that you're pulling in your body, or a ball of light that's going out into your penis. Okay. Then with your masturbation, you can start practicing over weeks. You can start practicing getting closer and closer to the edge and see if you can again contract that PC muscle closer to the edge and still suck up. But I would suggest give yourself a lot of time, at least a week of staying well away from the edge. Experiment what happens with you when you actually masturbate and don't ejaculate. Feel what happens if you've sucked this up into your body. How do you feel? Do you feel this energy is now still in your body? Do you feel energized by it? Experiment with it. And then later, see how close you can get to that edge. And also notice, if you do ejaculate, again, don't beat yourself up. Go, oh, this is my awareness of my energy. I went this far to the edge, and this is where I wanted to crash over. So just notice those things. Oh, I noticed where my edge is. So next time I'm going to not go that close and suck up a little bit earlier in general. So you're in control of your energy. And then just speaking about energy even more, to notice your energy levels when you do ejaculate. Just bring awareness into how does your body feel. Now, for me as a woman, when a man ejaculates, I feel that as He is giving everything. He goes into an incredible space of build up of like all his masculine energy, his whole heart, his whole passion, his whole excitement, builds, 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 and then it shoots out his body. It exits his body in this incredibly beautiful surrender. And that surrender is so big that he is fucked afterwards. He's tired. He's spent. And I also teach that to women to realize, to honor that ejaculation, to say, there's a lot that just came out of this guy. He is going to be tired. Don't be angry with him that he didn't cuddle afterwards. He's not going to. He's tired. He falls asleep. Physiologically, he just falls asleep. He can't anymore. And that's now why we want to then also become aware of this energy and then be able to, as a man, say, today I'm not going to ejaculate. I'm going to preserve this energy into my body. I'm going to suck it back into my heart. I'm going to suck it back into my head. Preserve this energy for myself a little bit longer, or for a day longer, or 2 days longer, even 3 days, or a week, or 3 weeks. And I'm not saying do not ever ejaculate, but feel what your energy does when you masturbate, when you make love a lot, but you don't ejaculate every time. Your energy will build. It's like a champagne cork, champagne bottle. That energy just builds and builds and builds in your body, and it actually energizes your masculine energy even more and more and more over those days that you don't ejaculate. And then when you do ejaculate, you have an extremely satisfying shoot, extremely satisfying release. So now I'm talking about over days, over time, not ejaculating over days, but also during lovemaking, if you decide I'm going to make love for an hour, okay? So now I'm going to make love for an hour before I ejaculate. And I just want to see what it does. How does it change my lovemaking? So what you will need to do is you will need to communicate this with your partner, whether it's a man or a woman, wherever you're going to be penetrating, to say that you are going to be doing something different because your partner is going to almost expect you to make love with a regular ejaculation as you always did. So you have to communicate with your partner that you are playing around with where your energy is flowing, basically. And you're not going to spend it out into her so quickly, but that you are, and communicate this with her, that when you feel you are close to the edge, in the beginning, you need to say, I'm close to the edge. I want to come, okay? And then ask her to just hold still for a bit. And then you can lie in each other's arms, just hold still for a bit. And that would last for, you will see, about a minute, 3 minutes, I would say. Then you can go again, which is fantastic. It's really great. And then when you're close to that edge, just hold. Maybe you have to get up, go and eat chocolates, come back. But you're building your excitement, and then hold quite a few times during the lovemaking session. And then at some point you can say, consciously saying, okay, I want to ejaculate now. And then you do it. And you can do this in hold, and ejaculate in one lovemaking session. Or you can stretch this whole process over a week or over weeks, where you actually hold for a whole day or for weeks, and then ejaculate after a week or after 2 weeks. And like I said, that ejaculation will be so much more satisfying, but you have to communicate it with your partner. And eventually, if you're doing this together as a couple, and I know, trust me, I've made love with men that do ejaculation control a lot. So when we as a woman make love with a man that does ejaculation control, we know eventually that we start understanding how his body moves, and we start reading his breathing. And we start listening to his breathing, like he's listening to our breathing as well. We start listening to his breathing, and as soon as the woman hears this, like, you know, he's sucking up, and you just need to wait for a bit, because you're going to get some more after that. So just be patient. So that's what you can do as a couple. And I feel the benefits that everyone will have when you are able to prolong or postpone your ejaculation is you as a man will feel, firstly, more energized, because that energy is not just spilling and spilling and spilling out of your body. Because you can choose when to ejaculate, you can choose how much buildup you want before you ejaculate. So that problem when the ejaculation is not that satisfying, that will also go away. You will always have satisfactory ejaculation or orgasm. You will also start by this whole breathing up technique will teach you what an energy orgasm feels like. So you will start identifying that you can have pleasure orgasms in your body, as much pleasure as your partner, multiple energy orgasms in your body without ejaculating. Or you can have the fantastic lovemaking session of having multiple energy orgasms and having an ejaculation orgasm. That's first prize. It's fantastic. You get to experience your body in so many different ways of experiencing pleasure. And yeah, you will be a better lover. You will feel more confident. You will be able to make love to your partner much longer. And because you make love to your partner much longer, that gives time to build a much deeper connection with your partner. You will have more satisfying sex with each other. You will spend more time in each other's arms. You will spend more time looking into each other's eyes. Your partner will be satisfied. And like Lenerd said earlier, she'll be in a good mood. She won't walk around with all this resentment. She'll just love you, and she will look forward to the next time you make love to her, because of the satisfaction and the connection that both of you feel. Yeah. So, people, that is it from me. And I really hope that you guys are going to enjoy playing with your energy and enjoy all these orgasms you and your partner are going to have. So now I want to open the floor. I'm first going to ask Lenerd. I want to open the floor for questions from you guys. And I want to just, Lenerd, we're very close to 8 o'clock already, but we can go a little bit over the time to answer some questions. I just want to know shortly from you, Lenerd, if there's anything specific that you want to tell the men, like with these instructions that I gave them.
Yes, Jan. Wow, beautiful. Well put and beautifully explained. I think it was a beautiful transmission of that. I suppose the one thing that I can mention is that when you start doing this and you start breathing this energy up, sometimes you won't, in the beginning, you won't feel anything. So not to worry too much about feeling, stuff whirling in your head or in your heart. I almost just want to say that, because that could be intimidating for guys when they start. They breathe and they, you read in a Taoist and Tantra books up in your spine. You can draw it up and you feel a tingling in your spine and your head, and that's all true and it's all beautiful. But it doesn't matter whether you feel it or not. Just the intention and the drawing up of it will already, it will already happen. So yeah, I think it's a beautiful explanation of it. The breathing up and putting the intention. In essence, what you're doing is you're just moving the energy that's all in your groin area. You're just spreading it through your body, and if it's in your groin area, eventually it's going to explode out. So just putting the intention there, breathing it up, already will do it. So don't look for, wow, there was no tingling feeling or there was no explosion in my head. Don't think nothing happened. You will see that by doing that, and the more you do it, you'll feel the energy go up, and you'll be able to last longer. You almost feel sometimes a little bit, your erection goes a little bit softer, which is in a way a good thing there, because it means the energy has shifted, which then allows you to make love for longer.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's so much we can talk for days about this.
For days. We can carry on about
There's
it.
so much. But maybe just one other thing is that it's a journey. It's a beautiful journey, and then it's also fun. I don't see it as this tough, hard thing. And I was achieved. As men can sometimes go into this achiever mode, and now we have to achieve this. So I would recommend or invite you just to have fun. Just to start doing this crazy shit, man. Just start breathing some energy up and see what happens. And just have fun in the process, and let it go where it goes. And if you then do ejaculate, don't be too hard on yourself, and it's fine. You crashed over the edge, and now you know where the edge is, and then experiment, play around.
We might as well just try, and who knows, maybe we can make love for longer. Just might as well try, and it's fun to practice, and it is to always keep that light side and the fun side, and sex is beautiful and orgasms are beautiful, so to always just keep that enjoyment in.
Sure. Keep it light and easy and fun, and yes, it does take a bit of willpower, and it does take a bit of discipline, but also mingling that with fun and lightness. I almost want to really stress that.
All right, guys, would you like to ask some questions? Would you like to ask me a question or ask Lenerd a question? We'd love to clarify anything if you want to know more. Anyone? Clive. Clive, are you ready with a question? I can't hear you. I can't hear you, Clive.
Or muted.
No, he's not muted. Yeah, shame. He's asking a question, but I can't hear him.
Maybe type it in the box.
Clive? Sorry, can you maybe type in the box, because I can't hear you. I couldn't hear your question. So maybe you can just type it in the box, and your sound didn't come through. I'd love to answer your question. Okay, he's going to type something.
And then Leon, just a thought, maybe you mentioned earlier, it's recorded. Just I'm sure whoever asks a question, that will be cut out of the recording. So just to maybe just to make that point, I think.
Yeah. I'll pause